then everybody, I thought I would bring you the Best of Beauty 2016. You'll have probably seen this dress and this makeup look in my what I got for Christmas videos, just because I'm bulk filming because everybody's out apart from Amy. Amy's come across. Everybody's out, so there's no distractions. I can just sit here and speak to you about my favourite products of 2016. Feels weird saying that actually. So I'm going to do it step by step of like the way that I would do my makeup. I mean it goes either way, like I could do my face first or my eyes, but I'm going to do it as if I was doing my face first. So my two favourite primers of 2016 were the Baby Skin Instant Pore Eraser. This is my third tube this year of this, which proves that I love it. And then the Nivea Men Post Shave Balm. Now I do really like this, but this one kind of beats it. Just because this one makes my pores look larger, which is obviously why I have to use this. So I'll use this on days where either this has run out or days where I want my skin to look a little bit more dewy and like luminous and like alive, basically. I like them both for different reasons. This is because this makes me dewy, it erases my pores and also makes me look a bit more matte. I sometimes mix them, but they are both very good primers, so I would recommend you go out and try them. This one if you have oily skin, and this one if you have dry skin. Now next is obviously foundations. Now this one is a bit of a cheat. As you will see, I did only get this as my what I got for Christmas, so I have only used this for a week. But I have used this every single day of this week, apart from today. Today I've got on the liquid version, which is also another of my favourite foundations of 2016. They are my favourite for very, very different reasons. This one because it gives me a really dewy like look, which is what I need in the winter because my skin does get dry. But I also really like this because it looks amazing in photography, amazing in videos, and just I don't know how to explain it because it's not a full coverage, but you can cover up like spots like really well with it. It's a satin finish, it's nowhere near as dewy as this. This one I would say is more my spring summer, and this one is definitely my winter foundation. Next is my MAC Studio Fix Fluid. Oh, I forgot to tell you, in the liquid form of the Makeup Forever I'm in the shade R220. In the stick one I'm R230. Just because the stick foundation doesn't have the shade that I am in the liquid, but they're both very similar. So, well, in fact they're identical, to be quite honest with you. This is, I'm in the shade NW10. It's the MAC Studio Fix, which I've already said, but this, even though I am dry, I can get away with this because it's not as matte as I thought it was. I use this more in summer months though, but if I am going to use this, I will use like a dewy base, say like the strobe cream. Now I haven't included that in the Best of Beauty, just because I do really love it, but I haven't used it an awful lot, so I can't say it's best of, because I haven't really used it. Now this I got in August and it's almost finished, which shows how much I love it. The last foundation is the Match Perfection from Rimmel. I'm in the shade 010 Light Porcelain. Now I'm sorry that this is the only drugstore foundation. I used to really love drugstore foundations, and then I started using high-end, so high-end kind of grabbed me a bit more because, for one, they have a lot more shade ranges than drugstore foundations, and two, they have a lot more finishes. This one I do, however, really love. I've used this for a couple of years now. This is also my third bottle this year of this foundation. Just because it's a foundation that I wear day to day. I use it for school, well, for college, but you know what I mean. and it is a really like moisturising foundation. I love it, and it's SPF 20, so I use this when I'm abroad or when I'm in England, but you don't really need SPF when you're in England because it's never sunny, which kind of upsets me, but I burn anyway, so I kind of get past that. I love this foundation because it does come with a pump, and it does also give a dewy base, which is what I kind of need. Now, another cheat. I only got this concealer 3 weeks ago, but ever since I've got it, I've used it every single day, just because it is so like radiant and makes you look alive, and it was only £7 from Boots. It's the Bourjois Radiance Reveal, and it is illuminating and corrects your under eye circles, which right now I really need because I haven't been getting much sleep. In the shade 01 Ivory, and I do have to, the only problem with this is it's really yellow, which doesn't really look good on my skin, which is why I have to mix it with the Naked Skin Weightless Complete Coverage concealer. I'm in the shade Fair Neutral in this one. This one I can wear by itself, which is why I do kind of prefer the high-end one more than the drugstore one, because I can wear it by itself, but I do mix them so I could create my perfect shade of under eye concealer, which I'm very happy about. Now, I'm very upset about this because it broke and it is really dirty, so I'm a bit ashamed to show you. But it is my Makeup Revolution Ultra Contour Palette. Now, I use the pink shade, which I've hit pan on, to set my under eye. I use this shade here to contour, and I use the mixture of the highlight shades, them two, to obviously highlight. Now, the other shades I can't really use because I am so pale, but to say that it was only £8, I don't really mind that I can only use 4 shades out of here. So I would really recommend you go out and try this if you can get Makeup Revolution, just because it is really good quality for such a cheap price. Now, for all over my face, I use the Cream Puff Pressed Powder from Max Factor in the shade Translucent. It just looks like that. It's a really illuminating powder actually, which I know for pressed powders is quite unusual, but it does actually really illuminate my skin, so I'm kind of happy about that. That was a purchase that I got in October, so I've been using it every single day since, so I would really recommend you try that actually. Next is my favourite blusher, which is the Bourjois number 48. It just looks like so. It is a really pretty pink colour, which really complements pale skin. I like it because it's travel friendly, because it's so small. Obviously you can tell I really like it because all the thing on the front has rubbed off. So once again, I'm obviously going to say I'd recommend all these products because they were my Best of Beauty 2016. But this one I would especially recommend you go out and try, because I've had this since last December, which you can use this for 18 months, so it's okay. And I'm nowhere near hitting pan. Like, it's still got the perfect dome, which makes me happy because I'm nowhere near hitting pan on it, and I think sorry guys, I think it is really worth the money. Next is obviously my favourite bronzer, which I'm really sorry, I've just realised that most of these products are high end, but it's the Hoola by Benefit, just because it just looks like so. Just because it is the perfect shade for like fair skin, and I can use it to contour, I can use it just to bronze, I can use it for anything basically. The only problem I have with this is because they put a brush in it, it's not filled right up to the top. So I would like it if it was filled all the way up to the top, but I can get past that because it's such a nice colour. Now next is my favourite part of highlighting, which is makeup, which is obviously highlighting. And if you know me, you know that that is my favourite part of makeup, which I have 3 highlighters to show you here. I'm going to go from best to worst, worst to best, but they're not really my worst to best, just because I love them all so much, and I love them all so equally. Next is the MAC Soft and Gentle highlighter, which just looks like so. It's really, really pretty. It's really good for fair skin. In the summer months, I use this in the summer months, just because if you use it in winter it can look a little bit too bronzed, which is why I do really love it, but there's only certain seasons when I can use it and really get away with it, which is why I wish they did bring out more highlighting shades for fair skin, just because we have such a problem of finding them, because obviously sometimes highlighters on us can look like bronzers, which is a struggle, but we find them. Next is my Sleek Solstice palette off my best friend Charlotte, which just looks like so. It has 4 really, really pretty highlighting shades. I tend to use these 2. I don't know which ones they are, and then I use the top 2 for eyeshadows, just because the top 2 I can't use as highlighters on my skin, otherwise I look ridiculous, just because they're purple and it doesn't look right on pale skin. Now next, if I can open it, which I don't think I'm going to be able to.
Do you want me to open it?
Yeah, Ava, can you open that please? It is the Mary Lou highlighter. It's really hard to open.
No, it's not.
Amy's done it, yay! I love this because it comes with a mirror at the top, so it's really travel friendly. Everybody raves about this, everybody has it. It is such a beautiful highlight shade for pale to medium skin. I would really recommend you go out and buy it and try it, because it is amazing. It's by The Balm, which you probably all know already, because everybody raves about it on YouTube. I was late jumping on the bandwagon of this, but I am very happy that I eventually did, because it is such a perfect... I've just dropped it on the floor.
Well,
such a perfect highlighter. Oh wow. Next is my Urban Decay Makeup Setting Spray. It's the Chill one. This is, I haven't tried the other, so I can't say it's my favourite, but I love this because it does illuminate my skin. I wouldn't say it makes your makeup stay on any longer. I'm not going to lie, I don't think it does in any way, shape or form. But I really like it because it does give my face that luminous glow that I like. So if I'm using the MAC Studio Fix, I will use this just because it is so pretty. Next is eyes. So my first palette that I loved this year was the Smashbox Full Exposure palette, which just looks like so. I got this in 2015 when we went to Spain actually, and I have used it ever since then. My mum got it me, I really love it. And I usually don't like cool tones, but this is the palette that I can cope with cool tones, just because the only reason I don't really like cool tones is because sometimes if I go a bit too heavy-handed with them, they can make me look a bit dead, because I am really pale. But I can get away with this palette actually, which is a bit weird, because it's a mixture of cool and warm tones, so I do tend to sway towards the warm tones in this palette, but I also like the cool tones. I just love this palette overall, and I really like it because it comes with a mirror, so it's really travel friendly, and it's a mixture of mattes and shimmers, which I love so much. Next is obviously my Urban Decay Naked palette, which everyone and their mother talks about, everyone and their mother probably has by now. Once again, I was late jumping on the bandwagon of naked palettes, but I did it and I love them. My favourite shades are Naked, Book, Half Baked and Smog, just because they make like blue eyes stand out an awful lot. Like this whole palette makes blue eyes stand out an awful lot, but They are my favourite shades.
I'm so sorry guys, the camera shut out. I was explaining the Morphe 350 and the Lash Sensational mascara. I haven't got them with me at the moment, but I'm just going to put my hair in front of my ears because that does not look right. I'm sure you've all seen them 1,000 times before on YouTube. The reason I love the Morphe 350 is literally because it's me in a palette. Like, I love autumn and I love winter, and they are the perfect shades for winter. The shimmers and and even like just the normal like matte shades are so pigmented, like it's unreal how pigmented it actually is. And the reason I love the Maybelline Lash Sensational mascara is because it's so volumizing. I just love it so much. I'm sorry for my appearance in this little snippet that I'm having to do. I thought it had recorded this, but obviously hadn't. So I'm sorry about that. I've got no makeup on whatsoever. I've just had a real lazy day, but let's get straight back on into the rest of the video.
Next is obviously lips. My favourite liquid suede lipstick from NYX was the colour Sandstorm. It's my favourite liquid lipstick. It just looks like so. It is quite cool toned, which is quite unusual for me because I quite like warm tone lipsticks, but I couldn't go without having this lipstick. It is perfect. Next is, I'm going to do my favourite lip liner actually. It's Stripped Down by MAC. I'm sorry that most of these are from MAC and there's only one drugstore alternative, but I do like drugstore lipsticks, but MAC have my favourite formula, so I'm sorry about that. There's just Stripped Down's just there next to Sandstorm, which I would recommend you go out and try if you can. Next is Diva, which is a matte formula from MAC. It's just a really nice dark lip colour. It's just there, obviously. I absolutely loved this colour this year. It's my favourite autumn winter time lipstick and I was wearing it an awful lot. I think I'm gonna do a winter makeup routine, so this should be appearing soon. Next is Cosmo, which I wore an awful lot in the spring summer months, as it's a really pretty pink colour. It's just that colour there. It's really pretty, really pink, which I obviously love in lipsticks. I'm one of them people that quite likes the brownie pink nudes. And I couldn't do a best of 2016 without including my beloved Velvet Teddy, which I do have on my lips right now. It's just that colour down there. It is amazing. It's perfect. Amy, would you vouch for that?
Yeah.
Amy's got it, I've got it, my sister's got it, my best friend Charlotte's got it, everybody's got it. We all love it because it is a perfect colour. Now, I actually had it before the Kylie Jenner craze, so don't say I'm copying because I had it before that. Now, I know not many people in their Best of Beauty 2000, well, any Best of Beauties, include makeup brushes, but I'm going to include two, and the Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge. I love this. I obviously use it wet because obviously I need the dewiness in my skin in winter. I love it for under eye, I love it for all over the face. It is amazing. I don't think I'm ever going to try the Beauty Blender because I don't see the point in spending £16 on a sponge. I'm sorry for anyone that does enjoy the Beauty Blender, but I just personally don't understand the point in spending so much on one, like, brush. Because I'm kind of a drugstore, like, brush type of gal. Next is my Lamora flat kabuki brush, which I got off Amazon actually. I was looking for flat kabuki brushes on Amazon and I came across this. It is dirty, sorry, I did my makeup before I filmed this video, which is why it's so dirty. But I do really, really enjoy this brush. This brush gives me amazing coverage. If I'm not using this, I'm using the sponge just because I like to flip between light and full coverage. honestly, if you do like using foundation brushes, I would recommend you go out and try this. I got mine off Amazon or eBay, I can't really remember. I think it was Amazon, but go out and get it if you can. And last but no means least is my Real Techniques contour brush. I don't use this actually for contour anymore, I use it just for highlight, but this has been my saviour throughout 2016. I got this in 2015 as a Christmas present off my mum. It came with like the core collection of the Real Techniques brushes, but I absolutely love it, so I would try them. That was everything of my Best of Beauty 2016. I hope you have a fantastic 2017. Let me know down below if you have any New Year's resolutions. I don't, just because I don't stick to them, so I don't make them. But if you do have any, let me know down below. I always look in the comments, so if you would like to chat to me, speak down there. And I shall see you guys in 2017.